I'm Merritt Wurts. I went to Deerfield Academy for high school. I'm going to Yale next year for college, and I've played at PCC my entire life. I'm really looking forward to going to Yale next year. It's going to be a new, more challenging school experience. As we all go through high school to college, it becomes a more challenging academic problem, and I'm looking forward to that. As far as squash goes, I'm really looking forward to being a part of a team that trains and functions completely together, rather than in high school where I trained by myself mostly and then played matches with the team. At Yale, we will be playing together, practicing together all the time. Challenge matches will prepare us for tough matches throughout the season, and I'm really looking forward to the new coaching staff and what they have to offer. All my life, I remember playing and looking forward to playing high school and middle school squash at SEH. And I think in about 7th or 8th grade, I met Rich for the first time. It was at Episcopal Academy. We were doing the regional training squad pre-regional tournament preparation. And Rich was the head of the program at that point, not just the Philadelphia program, but he was at Episcopal coaching us. It's the first time I met him, and at the end of the session I posed him a question because a bunch of my friends at that point were moving on from SCH for personal reasons, and I sort of wanted to go out and explore more of the world. And I asked Rich, I was like, Rich, do you think this is a bad decision? And he said, well, it depends what you're going for. He said, it's probably going to hurt your squash a little, but you can work through that with your coach and make a plan so that you can train while you're there. And I eventually decided to go to Deerfield because I really wanted to pursue that academic challenge as I'm going to do at Yale. And turns out Rich became my coach, and we established a plan where I would work out during the week and he would send me weekly schedules. And I would do solo sessions, wake up before classes, and get in those extra hours to add on top of my normal practice to prepare me for tough tournaments like the US Open and JCTs. When I think back to when I was in the early days of my junior squash career, I think back to playing at small tournaments locally, at Berwyn, Episcopal, all the cricket clubs. And I always recalled watching the older kids, and my dad and I would always talk about certain people's behavior on court. And I think one of the things that I really started to value was after going through matches where I felt that I wasn't treated properly on court, I began to value how I treated other people. And I think when I began thinking about the Deroy, I didn't really think about trying to win it. I more did it because I thought it was the right thing to do, to treat your opponent the way you wanted to be treated. Obviously, players like Olivia, Daisy, and Julia, and Matt Giegerich all inspired me because they won the award, but it wasn't ever seeking out the award. Like, the award is truly the greatest compliment U.S. squash can give a player, but I don't think the award is something you try to win. It's something that's given to you based on your behavior. And I think that the motto really should be to treat the other player the way you would want to be treated. I think when it comes to the college process, it's really important to find a school that fits you and that wants you. I think one of the best feelings you can have going into a new environment is feeling welcomed. And if a school doesn't want you for who you are, or just values you as a squash player and not a person, I don't think that's the best fit for you. I also think that getting to know each team and what the guys on the team like and what the social scene is like is really important, because you're going to be spending the next 4 years in your darkest times and your best times with those 15, 20 guys or girls on the team. Throughout the college recruiting process, one of the values that I emphasized most was honesty. I think, as we all know, most college coaches are not going to intentionally mistreat you. Like, they want the best for you, because they've seen you at camps, seen you throughout junior squash, and since squash is such a small community, everyone knows who everyone is. And everyone genuinely wants the best for each player. So I think when talking to coaches, being honest and telling them what you're thinking is one of the most important things you can do, because if you did ever get into a situation that wasn't the best and you had been honest with the people previously, it's more likely that they're going to be kind to you if you were honest with them. As I said previously, when I went away to boarding school, it required a lot of communication with the club and with the coaching staff, specifically Rich and Graham, Omar too. And I think that they really were there for me even when we weren't even remotely close to each other. So putting together fitness sessions throughout the summer when I was vacationing and while I was at school really were the steps that took me to get my game to a level where I could compete for a college recruiting spot. And then during the actual process, all the pros were always talking to me, helping me write emails, whatever I needed. They would always give me honest feedback, and I think that's one of the things that I'm most appreciative of, is like they said always what was meant to be said, not what I needed to hear. And if that meant be patient, or that I need to write more emails, or I need to play and get some film, it was what it was. But the coaches really told me exactly what was true, not what I needed to hear.